It's pretty amazing how a single social media post can tell a story that's way more complex than it first looks. What seemed like a straightforward success for a rocket launch, well, it quickly spiraled into this tale of triumph, a weird little mystery, and a pretty major setback. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how the story of this New Glenn launch unfolded, one reply at a time.
Okay, so our story kicks off right here with this post from back on April 19th, 2026. On the surface, it's super simple, right? It's a celebration. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket booster has successfully landed. A clean win. Or so it seemed at first.
All right. First, let's just focus on the good news, because honestly, this part of the mission was a huge achievement. We are talking about a picture-perfect landing of a truly massive rocket booster.
And listen, this wasn't just any landing. This was the first reflight of a New Glenn booster, proving you can fly a rocket, land it, and then fly it again. That is basically the holy grail of modern rocketry. It's the absolute key to making spaceflight cheaper and way more sustainable. So for Blue Origin, this was just a massive, unqualified success.
But as space enthusiasts all over the world were watching the landing footage, their trained eyes picked up on something a little odd. Just a small detail in the video that didn't quite seem right, and it sparked this impromptu investigation right there in the replies.
And this was the question that kicked the whole thing off. Just as the booster was touching down, this plume of really yellow smoke just billowed out. Now, in the world of rocketry, unexpected colors can mean unexpected trouble. So what on earth was that?
This quote right here perfectly captures that initial moment of expert curiosity. Simeon Schmaus points out, hey, the color's all wrong for soot. But even more importantly, he notes that New Glenn doesn't use hypergolic fuels. Those are the super toxic propellants that often burn with really distinct colors. So the most dangerous possibility was off the table, but the mystery? It was still there.
So this is where the story gets really fascinating. A simple question in a social media thread turned into this real-time collaborative effort to solve a puzzle. It's just a perfect example of how the modern space race works. Everything happens out in the open, and you've got this global community of experts watching your every move, analyzing every single frame of video.
So two main ideas popped up pretty quickly. The first was soot, but again, that just didn't quite fit how vibrant the color was. Then, a much more compelling theory started to take hold. What if the rocket's incredibly hot exhaust was simply burning the paint and rust right off the landing ship's steel deck?
What's so cool here is that the community basically followed the scientific method in real time. They started with an observation, the yellow smoke. They asked a question, what is it? They formed a hypothesis, it's just paint and rust. Now all they needed was to find some evidence to confirm it.
And boom, here's the confirmation. The key piece of evidence came from a drone video. It showed super clearly that the smoke didn't start until the exact moment the engine's exhaust blast hit the landing platform. It wasn't coming from the rocket at all. Mystery solved. It was in fact just burning paint.
So, a flawless landing and a fun little mystery solved by the community online. A perfect day for Blue Origin, right? Well, just as that conversation was wrapping up, the entire story of the mission was about to get flipped on its head by one single reply.
And there it is, the bombshell, dropped by the space commentator Scott Manley. See, while everyone was focused on the booster, the second stage of the rocket, the part that actually delivers the payload to orbit, had a problem. Its cargo, a satellite for AST Space Mobile, was deployed into an off-nominal orbit. To put it simply, it was in the wrong place. And a satellite in the wrong orbit can be completely useless.
This just completely reframes the entire mission, doesn't it? What looked like a total home run was suddenly a much more complicated story. A story of incredible success living right alongside a pretty significant failure.
This really just highlights the two sides of this mission. On one hand, you have a huge win, a perfectly executed reflight and landing, proving that core reusability concept. But on the other, a major loss. The primary goal, delivering the customer's payload, failed. It's a really stark reminder that in the race to catch up with companies like SpaceX, you've got to nail both parts of the launch. Proving your booster works is a massive step, sure, but if you can't deliver the payload, you don't really have a business.
And what's so incredible is that this entire multi-layered drama played out in one public conversation. It kicked off with a celebration of success, took a detour into a collaborative mystery, and then ended with the bombshell revelation of a mission-critical failure.
It's just a perfect snapshot of the incredible highs and lows of modern space exploration as they happen right in front of our eyes. Which leaves us with this final, really fascinating question. I mean, Blue Origin proved its booster is reusable. That's a huge engineering milestone that moves them forward. But their customer may have just lost a very valuable satellite. So how do you even score a mission like this? It forces us to ask, in the super high-stakes world of spaceflight, is a partial success still a success? Or is it maybe just a different kind of failure?